title of it was Clara Driscoll and the Tiffany Girls, A New Light on Tiffany. And it turns out that it's very likely that Clara Driscoll designed this inkwell. And if she didn't actually do the work on it, it's very likely that the Tiffany Girls did. Do you know what your mother might have paid for this?
She didn't have much money in those days. I think she started collecting in the 40s, the 50s. She probably paid under $50.
In the condition it's in a retail shop, it could sell for between $25,000 and $30,000. Now, you could go out and find the liner. They can be priced anywhere from $2,000, $3,000, and they're fairly rare, but it can be done. And if you were to replace the liner, and it would be perfectly fine as long as it's original Tiffany, the inkwell would be worth as much as $50,000 in a retail shop.
These items have been in my family for years. My uncle, who was a sailor and stationed at Lakehurst for a bit, gave them to my grandmother. And my grandmother gave them to me, thinking I was the person in the family that was most interested in history. The story I heard was that they were from the Hindenburg. I was quite young when I got them. I didn't think too much about it then. But years later, I was watching an episode of the Antiques Roadshow, actually. Someone brought in a fork that had this mark on it, and I thought, that looks like the mark that's on the things I have. Since then, I've been able to do a little research, and it appears to be that, I think that mark is from the company that owned and operated the Graf Zeppelin and the Hindenburg.
The Hindenburg was the largest airship ever made, largest aircraft of any sort, over 800 feet long. It crashed on the 6th of May, 1937 in Lakehurst, New Jersey, at Lakehurst Naval Air Station. And everyone's seen the film strip of it crashing and burning, hearing the ode to humanity. And at the time, it was just a horribly tragic accident. When the Hindenburg crashed, it caught on fire, and there were over 7 million cubic feet of hydrogen gas that basically burned the ship in 35, 45 seconds. There were 97 passengers, and 36 people died. The Hindenburg burned so badly and so hot that almost everything was destroyed. There were a few items that were left, and most of those were kind of shoved off to the side, later be picked up by the German authorities and sent back to Germany.
Sure.
So there are very few items that not only survived the fire and the crash, but survived the recovery. You mentioned it has the mark of the German Zeppelin Transport Company, and it is on both items here. They're both marked with the appropriate hallmarks for the Hindenburg and the Graf Zeppelin. Now, the Graf Zeppelin was just disassembled in 1940. It didn't crash. The Hindenburg, with its fiery crash, is really an icon. It kind of signified the end of airship travel. So what are we looking for? How do we prove that these were on the Hindenburg?
Right, nothing says Hindenburg on it.
Nothing says directly Hindenburg. Well, one, Lakehurst, New Jersey. Your uncle was stationed there.
Yes.
It's also made of silver-plated copper, and this is silver-plated base metal. And you see where the silver plating has peeled and bubbled up, especially here. And,
That's what that is, huh?
and underneath here, you've got to get some significantly high temperatures you're not going to get from a normal fire in order to generate those kind of marks. You've also got areas here of slight discoloration, slight bubbling and peeling on the platter too. This great bowl, this great plate from the Hindenburg, we estimate at auction, they would sell for about $3,000 to $5,000 a piece.
Peace. Wow, that's terrific to say the least. To say the least.
We now return to our interview with the insurance whistleblower.
I just think everyone should know there's an insurance company out there exposing other companies' rates so you can compare them and see.
Sounds like trouble.
It's great, actually. It's called Auto Quote Explorer for Progressive. Here, look. See, we show you our direct rates and their rates, even if we're not close.
So whistleblower usually means you're exposing something bad.
I thought it meant calling attention to something helpful. You're like, check it out. This is the best. No?
BK melts, wanna warm up, this sure helps. Classic bacon, strong and Swiss. BK melt season is tasty bliss. BK, have it your way.
The game just started and the squad's was already going crazy.